is Gina Scanlon for Customer Management IQ, and I am here live at the 311 NYC call center.
Hi, I'm Joe Morrisroe. I'm the Executive Director for New York City 311, and welcome to our New York City 311 Contact Center. We are the largest municipal government contact center in the world, and we also think that we provide the best care anywhere. Each year, over 18 million people call New York City for information, services, and assistance, and we have 300 plus professional customer care reps on staff to handle those calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No matter what happens in the city, we're always here for our customers.
Great.
Welcome and enjoy the tour.
I like the people. I like that we can help so many people on so many levels.
There's so many people who need a lot of information to navigate through different services through the city who would have no idea where to go if we were not here to help them.
In addition, it gives me a lot more insight about how the city works in terms of the infrastructure agencies.
You really have your hands on the pulse of the city. You really get a good idea of what New York City is about, how it's run, all the different types of people.
You develop a bond with the staff here, and I enjoy encouraging and supporting them to help the citizens of New York City.
It's a bustling environment. Everyone is open communication, approachable, helpful.
We help New Yorkers overcome, and that's one of the most gratifying things about taking calls, is that you really feel like you've made a difference at the end of the day once you go home.
Managing a difficult customer is actually very easy because what you need to do is put yourself in their situation and treat the customer as if it was your situation. You have to, of course, let them vent because they're frustrated and don't take it personal. After you get over the hump of letting them vent and everyone's calm, then what you would do is say, okay, this is your situation and this is how I'm going to help you with this situation. This is how I can help you. And I will try to solve their problem to the best of my ability, taking it on as my problem. So the way I would want to be treated is the way that I would treat the customer.
And I have to echo that as well. You certainly have to take an empathetic approach. The customer, when they are upset, particularly when I'm handling an escalated call, I know that this customer is already going to be upset. Regardless of what the situation is, they're going to come to me angry. So I'm expecting that, and yes, you have to allow the person to express their concerns or their frustrations and take an empathetic approach with the customer. Ultimately, you can offer them what you have available to them and allow them to make the decision, because sometimes it's a little more difficult to tell them what you can do. So it's better in a situation such as that is to allow them to select what you have from the pool of positive things that you can offer them.
People call 311, they're looking for help. And that's one of the most important things to realize, is that when we resolve an issue with a caller, we're really helping a member of New York City to accomplish something.
Out of the ordinary, I can think of one, and that is someone called recently who believed there was a jellyfish in their milk carton. And we treat these calls like any other one. I was really curious about it, wanted to know how it got there, asked her a lot of questions, and ultimately was able to refer her to take care of that. So you never know what's going to happen, but we definitely try to meet each caller where they are and do the best we can.
Although we receive many calls, and Nicole can agree with me, in terms of angry customers and as well as funny customers, but I have yet to receive a funnier call than my mother getting me on the phone. So this is a real story in which my mother called, and out of the million call takers that we have throughout the years, she got me. And she proceeded to tell me that she recognized my voice, and me being the professional that I am, I denied her my last name, and I was unable to reveal my true identity. So the call kept going, and she ultimately hung up on me because I was flustered. But that happened to be my funniest call, and me receiving a call from my mother.
Well, when I was a call center rep, there were some issues that would arise on certain calls that would make them difficult. It could have been when a customer was calling and they were distraught because they had no heat in their apartment and they could see their child's breath. And the human component, you want to help them instantly, and it's really hard to hear. So we handle it in the procedure that we handle it, but it's still upsetting on a human level. There are also those customers who might call in and they're so upset that we can't even, they won't answer questions because they're just so frustrated. So we can't assist them, and a lot of times they might hang up before we've even been able to assess what their problem or issue they're having. So those are difficult calls to handle. Also, of course, the ones that we inevitably route to 911. If someone's calling for domestic violence, and through our probing questions that we need to ask the customers, we find out that the person is in immediate danger, we have to bring on 911 immediately. And that's where, once 911 takes over the call, that's where we leave it. So we don't know the follow-up as to what happened to the customer. And there is that, again, that human component. You want the person to be okay, you want the person to be safe.
While working at 311, I think I have experienced every possible human emotions. Basically, I remember maybe a month or so after I started here, I got a call from this gentleman, and I think that call really stuck out at me since that point. And it was at that point that I realized how important, how important my job here is, because that gentleman, he called and he was in a very, the state that he was in, it was quite shocking to me. And he mentioned to me that he wanted to kill himself, and that for me was something that I did not expect, working here. So that call really stuck out at me. That is a call that I think will stay with me.
One of my most interesting calls, it's not so much interesting in that it was something like Jason's Zone, but it was more heartfelt, where I had a customer who was actually in a domestic violence situation. And as a call taker, I was able to handle that call professionally, bring on 911, and in the interim, 911 also referred the customer to LifeNet, whereby she was able to get assistance in terms of housing and other accommodations to get her out of that domestic violence situation. And I think it's important as reps that we handle those calls professionally and also with a certain sense of compassion towards those callers.
There was one call that I received within the last couple of months about, it was on the news actually, about a young woman and her fiance and her were getting engaged on the Brooklyn Bridge. He was proposing to her, and he dropped the ring on the bridge, and we were able to help her figure out a way to get that ring back. And I thought that was quite fascinating.